Hey guys, it's Pokemonster TCG here, back with a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well. Just before I get into today's video on talking about Sword and Shield high class sets, I wanted to say as a thank you for your recent support that I'll be giving away this booster box of Raging Surf for free. So the giveaway rules will be put in the description, but in the main you need to be subscribed to my channel and 18 and over. And finally, so that I can have a way of contacting you, I'll be putting a link to a Google survey form. All this is a short survey of 5 questions where you give me your YouTube username, your address or contact details, and confirming that you're happy for me to sort of use that data for the purposes of this giveaway. So hopefully this will run very well, and I'll probably announce the winner, let's say in 2 weeks on Saturday, the 21st of October. So don't miss out on this. It'll be a free booster box and hopefully you guys can pull something really good from it. Moving on to the topic of today's video, I wanted to discuss my view on the future potential of these high class pack sets, specifically from the Sword and Shield era. Now, just before I get into discussing each of these sets, I think we need to dissect what a high class pack set is. So maybe if I show you this box, you'll recognize it a bit more. Any high class pack set has this writing on it which confirms it is a high class pack set, but in essence they are almost always end of year or end of era sets which contain more cards per pack than the usual 5 in Japanese Pokemon packs. So in these high class pack sets you'll have 10, 11, 10, and you'll have a guaranteed V or VMAX in every pack, and V-Star, V or VMAX. So these sets are really unique because you only get 10 packs per box as opposed to the usual 30, and the numbering of the cards in the pack is slightly different. It also caters to 2 different audiences in the hobby. One is the player base, because sort of as you can see from the covers, there's a lot of reprints of very playable cards in these end of year sets to sort of help the player side get these cards easily, but they also have some very special secret rare cards in here in each set, which I'll be discussing a little bit. So really it's a very nice balance of catering to the player side and the collector side. Now moving into each individual set, we are going to start with Shiny Star V. This is sort of the set that got everyone into Japanese cards. So this set released in November 2020, and I'd never seen that many people take up Japanese sets until this one, because Japanese sets usually come out ahead of English sets. So Shiny Star V is basically a Hidden Fates regen, Hidden Fates 2.0. As you can see, the cover is full of shiny Pokemon, including this very cool Ditto, but more importantly the shiny Charizard. So it really is a Hidden Fates 2.0. I think the other card that it would be notable for, and I've got it to sort of show you guys, is this Marnie from Shiny Star V. People went really crazy for this set because you got 3 baby shinies in each box, an amazing rare at least I think in every box, or almost that, plus like an SSR card being like a full art shiny. I remember opening like 20, 30 of these and not pulling the Charizard, which was really annoying. If you get lucky, obviously I think 1 in 2 boxes have an SR like this Marnie, and then maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 20 have a gold card. Something that's quite unique about the release of this set is that it did have a first print in quotation marks. Any boxes that have this stamp on it are first print boxes. Any boxes that don't have this stamp are second print or later prints. So that's something that's very unique about this set. Next we have VMAX Climax. This is currently the priciest set out of these 3 looking at eBay solds. Something very unique about this set, I actually thought it was going to be the end of VMAX cards following this set because of the name, right? VMAX Climax. But it did focus a lot on trainer cards, so there are a significant amount of trainer cards in here, which is really cool. And also it introduced CHR character rare cards, or I should say it reintroduced them, following on from Dream League, but also had a new type of rarity, which is CSR cards, i.e. textured CHR cards. Now I don't think that the CSR cards did that well, potentially because they're sort of, well, let me see if I can pull an example for you guys. So here, for example, we have this beautiful Mimikyu V CSR card, so character super rare. I think one of the main issues with the print quality of this set was this sort of adopts the same bordering as V cards. So when you're putting it onto like a sort of super rare card, sometimes the quality of the edges wasn't that great. And I think that may have impacted the sort of prices of the card. But as you can see, the texture is still super awesome. So I would say that's what VMAX Climax was known for. Also, in terms of the chase cards in that set, you have the Galar Friends, as well as the Acerolus Premonition SR card. And finally, we move on to V-Star Universe, which is the most recently released high-class set. We will be getting a new one in Scarlet Violet, but this is sort of the ending set of the Sword and Shield era, and I do find the box art is absolutely beautiful. What's unique about this set is that it introduced AR cards and SAR cards, which were never seen before. They were sort of seen in terms of the art style before, like some people would say AR cards are very similar to the CHR cards. But the SAR cards definitely were a new thing, where they were kind of like alt arts, but the VMAX and V-Star ones, disappointingly for me, didn't really have the glitter on them. Still, there are some very nice cards in the set, like the Suicune SAR, but I think the main draw for the set is the gold cards, for me anyways, and the trainers. So in terms of trainers, we have the Elisa Sparkle, which I have. This is just a normal SR, but something that's very unique about this set is it started doing special artwork cards for trainer cards as well. So you have the Arita, the Cynthia, and Gardenia. I'm gonna see if I can pull the Arceus gold card for you guys, because that one is really stunning. So here we have the Arceus gold card, which I picked up in Japan. As you can see, the texture is absolutely unbelievable. Obviously the slab is sort of covered by plastic sleeve, so I can't show it in full. But I would say that the set of 4, Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, is amazing from this set. So now that I've talked a little bit about what the sets are about, I think we should talk about how I think they're going to perform in the future. Actually, the performance for Shiny Star V and VMAX Climax, I would say, has been maybe a bit more disappointing, because when you see a set like Tag Team All-Stars, which is now like 300-400 pounds a box, or like 500 USD, in comparison, this set is almost 3 years old now. In fact, it's like a month away from being 3 years old, yet the price has pretty much stayed about the same for a very long time. I think the key characteristic to think about for these high-class sets is that they are printed in very high quantities. Like, they will get reprinted multiple times after release. And one way for me to exemplify that is V-Star Universe, which released in December last year, but it's had multiple reprints to the point that they even have a new print version which has the new seal on them, the pullable seal, which they didn't have on their original prints. As you can see, the left side is just clean and the right side has these seams. So very cool for collecting, but just to show how much these boxes get printed. And Shiny Star V, I think, was printed as recently as 2022. And when these two sets were reprinted last year, they went down to about as low as 50 to 60 pounds or 70 to 80 US dollars. Shiny Star V is stuck at around the 110 to 120 pound mark. The highest I've seen is probably 150 pounds. And I don't really see much variance between the first print and the unlimited print, which tells me that people don't really care about the fact that there's a stamp on this box. Because the fact that this is first print doesn't actually change the cards inside. There is no first edition stamp or anything like that in there. So hard to say how this one is going to go, because for 3 years it's been stagnant. And the way I see it is, it's been printed so much that even if it starts to get slowly scarcer, as the prices go up, the amount of supply that floods the market is going to increase as well, and that's going to have an offsetting effect to the price increase and sort of stagnate it. And I think to some extent that's what we're seeing already. It's just that there is just so much supply out there relative to the demand that the prices are just struggling to go up. In comparison, VMAX Climax, now I don't have the exact numbers of the print quantities of these sets, but this one is actually doing better than Shiny Star V, having come out a year later, so it's almost 2 years old now. but this one is going at around £150, which is pretty high when you consider that it only came out 2 years ago. And that would be around, I don't know, 170, 180 US dollars. So this one does have potential, and I think one thing that's cool about this set is the trainer cards for sure. So obviously the waifu hype has died down quite a bit recently, but if it is to sort of come back in the future, then this set definitely has the biggest spread of waifu cards, because you have the Marnie and Morpeko V Union card, which is not even a trainer card in itself. Then you've got Gloria, Acerella's Premonition, you've got, you know, Galar Friends. This one could do well. My pick for what I think is going to do the best is, however, V-Star Universe. And I don't have the data to back it up, right? But this box is going for £100, £110, £100, so like 110 US dollars, sorry. Like before the reprint. So there was a big reprint last month, which I think nobody picked up, but I did think I should pick up a few because I thought the seal was cool. But before then, as a set that's less than a year old, it was already going for, you know, 110 US dollars, which is very high. Now it may be subject to the same constraints as Shiny Star V in terms of once the price starts to go up a little bit, there's going to be a lot of supply to flood the market. But in terms of the set strength, I do think that some of the artworks in the set are amazing. Singles prices are completely dead for this box. So like any of the SAR cards that you're sort of guaranteed to pull one per box, they're very, very cheap. So like the Suicune, for example, in a PSA 10 is like £40, 50 US dollars. Is it ever gonna go up? I don't know, because the pop is already so high. But if I'm just looking at the box art, the coloring, opening this set out of the three, this one was the most enjoyable for me. How are these going to do compared to normal sets? I don't really know. They are strong sets because they're fun to open. I think that's something that is a USP for these boxes. And in addition, something that I didn't mention is that you can pull God packs in these sets. But with that kind of chase, it does sort of give you the urge to open, get a box. So I don't know how these are going to do compared to normal sets, because there are some normal sets which can be much weaker in terms of the set composition, but because they were weaker and there wasn't that much demand for them, Pokemon is going to print it less. All I'm going to say is I'm not really sure how these are going to do in the future, but if I were to pick one that's my favorite and that I think is going to do the best, it's going to be V-Star Universe. I don't have, you know, a full list of metrics or reasons to justify that, but just from my instinct of opening each of these sets, I've probably opened like 50 boxes across these sets. This was by far the most enjoyable for me in terms of the artworks, the gold cards. So is it ever going to reach the heights of Tag Team All-Stars in terms of being 400 and 500? I don't think so. Definitely not in the near future. This set is what, like 4 years old? But the key sort of thing that helped this set stunk was the trainer cards and the fact that not everyone had this set back in the day, whereas everyone who's collecting now has a bit of each of these. That was it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Please do check out my Instagram as well, Pokemonster363. And don't forget that I'm giving away this booster box of Raging Surf. All you need to do is subscribe to my channel, be over 18, and make sure that you fill in the Google form that's in the description of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys next time.